How's your Ignite so far? Brilliant. Personally, I work in the data and AI space, and to see Satya's keynote yesterday, and Rohan in particular with his Synapse Analytics presentation was really exciting for me. And for those of you who came to my session yesterday, there was a lot of discussion around modern data warehousing and how Azure Synapse Analytics can fit into that piece. I have been around as many people as I can before this session started, just to get a feeling of what you want to get out of this. A lot of people I spoke to want to focus on ingestion, and that's what we're going to do today. My name is Testa-O'Neill, and I work in global technical learning, working in the data and the AI space. So we work around the space of certifications and education in AI engineering, data science and data engineering. Now, I haven't always been there. I've only been there a few months. Prior to that, I worked in the AI engineering team in cognitive services. A lot of the workloads that I was dealing with was unstructured data and trying to feed that into modern data warehousing solutions. So I am basically teaching 5 sessions this week. This is the second session, and the first session really set the lie of the land for the rest of the sessions. At Ignite, for the first time, we're starting to do what we call learning paths. Are you aware of that? Oh, good. Excellent. So you're hearing about that. So basically, there's 5 presentations in this learning path, and this is the second one. So the objective of the session today is basically to look at what Azure Data Factory is and how that works in the context of ingesting data. Then we'll look at ingesting data itself, and finally, we'll finish off with monitoring. We've got 45 minutes. My intention is to probably speak for 20 minutes. To people I've spoken to in the room, I have said, and I'm going to say it again, if you do have questions, there are microphones at the front. Feel free to ask the questions. There's a gentleman in the room who kept coming back and forth because we had a little bit of fun there yesterday, but he did ask a really important question that pretty much the rest of the room wanted to hear. So I am more than happy to take questions during the presentation itself. And then I'll give you a demo on how we can use ingestion within Azure Data Factory itself. So what is it? Azure Data Factory is a cloud-based integration service that allows you to orchestrate, and that's an important word, and automate data movement and data transformation. In this session today, we are focusing on data movement. In the session tomorrow, we focus on data transformation, okay? Now, the words are chosen very deliberately here, because the way that Azure Data Factory works is it can perform that data movement or data transformation in itself, or you can call a compute resource to do that movement and transformation for you. So you've basically got 2 options. Do the transformations within Azure Data Factory itself, or call a compute resource to do it on your behalf. Now, in order to make the most of this, it's important to understand the process behind it, because for me, when it comes to delivering business solutions, it's as much about the process and the people as it is about the technologies as well. So when you're thinking about Azure Data Factory, the first thing you've got to think about is you've got to connect to your data stores and collect that data. That's the first thing. And essentially, that is the focus of today's session. Once you've connected and collected, then you transform and enrich the data. And this is to apply basic data transformations, data cleansing, aggregations. Sometimes you may even want to put quite complex business logic within the transformation phase itself. With that done, you then publish it, and you typically publish it to a technology like Azure Synapse Analytics, okay? Because that acts as a really, really good serving layer for concurrent query access. How many people in this room use SQL Data Warehouse? Quite a few. One of the challenges and the limitations of this technology was the amount of concurrent connections that you could have against it. Synapse Analytics lifts that restriction, right? We go to 10,000 concurrent connections instead of hundreds, okay? In publishing it, we have to keep an eye on it. Anyone who builds data pipelines and doesn't think about frameworks for dealing with errors and monitoring errors and so forth, you're possibly creating a very basic pipeline in that case. Most of you will agree that probably for all of us in the room who deal with data integration projects, it's usually a complex framework that backs this up to not only deal with the movement of the data, but also handling errors and outputting them into quarantine areas if we need to do human checks on that. So what are the components? Well, the first thing you need to understand is the connect and collect. And we do that with a linked service. And a linked service is an Azure Data Factory object that allows you to connect to either data stores or compute resources. Yeah? And there is a difference, right? There is a big difference. So you may have a process that takes on-premises data into a data lake store. Now, how many people were on my session yesterday? Oh, so quite a lot of you came back then. You come back for more, right? Well, you will know from yesterday that we discussed that, if you've made a decade's worth of investment in SQL Server integration services, you don't want to lose that investment, right? So you might want to change your destination from being maybe a relational data store to a file-based data store that dumps that data into data lake, yeah? It's purely being used to store data. But sometimes you need to take advantage of a compute resource to do those big data transformations. And that's where calling a compute resource such as Azure Databricks becomes very, very useful. With the link service and the connection service information provided, you'll then define data sets. And data sets essentially live within either a store or a compute resource. The data set will then feed data into what is referred to as an activity. An activity performs an action on the data. Now, you can have one activity, but it's normal that you would have multiple activities working through this. And they are collectively grouped together in what we call a pipeline. Now, the pipeline is important because not only is a pipeline a collection of activities, it is also the data factory object that you use to either schedule or trigger the execution of. And by triggering that execution, you will get basically the movement of data through to your data set. Does anyone have any questions at this point? Now, with any data integration tool, we know we don't like to hard code information. We like to have dynamic capability. That can be provided through the use of parameters. So we can parameterize aspects of our Azure Data Factory components. We also have to think about, in this hybrid world, integration runtimes. And the integration runtime is important because it defines the environment and sets up the environment for movement from cloud to cloud, on-premise to cloud, and it's done with a single click, actually. One of the super exciting features of Azure Data Factory recently is the fact that we've got auto-integration runtime where it can detect from your objects, the linked services, whether you're on-prem, whether you're on the cloud, and it will automatically build in that integration runtime for you. This used to be quite complex to set up in the past. And finally, you've got control flow. And the control flow allows you to set logic up on how you engineer the data through the various pipelines itself. That's a lot of components, right? That is a lot of components. But let's break this down in the following summary. At the end of the day, linked services, data sets represents data items stored in a linked server. Activities run on link servers, and activities can produce data sets, but it also can consume data sets as well. A pipeline is a logical grouping of activities. They are the core areas that you need to understand the dependencies between in Azure Data Factory. Any questions so far? So we're going to focus on ingesting data. And before we look at ingesting data in the context of this presentation, I do want to take you through a 2-minute summary of the presentation yesterday for the benefit of those who did not attend. Why? Because it provides context for the demo that I was doing. And I would say, I know there's a lot of people who were here from yesterday, so I really, really appreciate your patience. I would also say for those people who were here yesterday, you've had about 12 hours to think about what I said. So if you do have any follow-up questions, you're more than welcome to ask them. So the way we looked at this yesterday is on the left-hand side of the screen, you have numerous sources. These can be file-based, but these can be relational-based as well. And we discussed how Azure Data Factory can be used as a method to basically ingest data into a data lake store. But we also discussed the fact that we can't forget about the fact that we have transactional systems as well. And it doesn't matter what those transactional systems are, really. We have to manage them in some way in our overall modern data warehousing scenario. Now, typically in those scenarios, it could be that Azure Data Factory is being used to transform data from the relational store into a data lake store. Indeed, you could possibly modify this example architecture to have Azure Data Factory going from the transactional storage directly to Azure Synapse Analytics as well. What was the key point about yesterday's session when it came to the architectures? Can anyone remember? Yes? Yeah, I can't say that. You don't want to mess about with the production systems because they could be earning you revenue, but also things change. Yeah? What's good today may not necessarily be good in a week's time because of the technology changes that have occurred. Great example of that, Synapse Analytics that was announced yesterday. Completely changed your view on this, right? Completely changed your view. So there are no right and wrong answers when it comes to an architecture. The simple answer is your architecture depends on what you're trying to achieve. And the reason why I bring that up is someone very, very quite rightly came up and said, hey, Chris, why have you got Azure Data Factory running off your transactional storage directly to a data lake? Why can't you do it directly to Synapse Analytics? And the answer is, I could have done, but in the context of the scenario that I'm doing, I want it to go out into a data lake store because I'm tying up transactional data with conversational data that is produced by the bot framework. And I want to tie those transactions together with the conversation data of a bot framework. And for those of you who were here yesterday, we talked about how AI can bring about new opportunities, such as the bot framework, where you can have conversations with your customers and capture that data and store it into the data lake store. Yes, sir.
Quick question, Chris. Is this on batch mode or is it like a stream?
So, great question. I don't think people could hear that, so if we could check the microphone there, please. The question was, is this in batch mode or is it in streaming mode? Well, for the purpose of this learning path, we are dealing with batch, just to give clarity there. But in the real world, modern data warehousing scenarios can incorporate both batch and streaming solutions as well. So there's nothing saying that we couldn't modify this particular architecture to maybe deal with an IoT field gateway device that's streaming in information from your on-field devices. That is quite possible as well. In that case, we wouldn't be using Azure Data Factory. We'd probably be using IoT Hub, yeah, to feed that directly into the data lake. Does that answer your question? Okay. So from that, we're going to focus on the ingestion part. And the way we're going to look at that is by using the copy activity process, which is beautiful, in my humble opinion. How many people work with Azure Data Factory version 1? We can meet up in the bar after and talk our war stories through. I'm really, really happy with what the Azure Data Factory team did with V2, right? The copy activity and the mapping data flow that you're going to see tomorrow has made life so much easier as data integrators. But the way that the copy activity technically works is, firstly, it will connect up to a source, be it a LAN or a wide area network, and it's going to read data from that source, and then it may have to go through a process of serialization or deserialization to organize the data. It may have to uncompress and compress. It'll have to do column mappings. And this is all through options that you configure within the copy activity itself. Once that's done, it will write that data to the sink data store. Now, depending on whether you're doing cloud-to-cloud movements or on-premises to cloud movements, you need to think about integration runtimes, because these set up the environments so that you can transfer data on-premises to the cloud or cloud-to-cloud, right? The good news is with the copy activity, there is the option for the auto integration runtime, where it's able to detect that and install the components that are required to make sure that that runs through. So the process of dealing with this is made so much easier with the copy activity. Because let's be honest, right? We want to be focusing on the business logic and the transformation logic as data integrators, right? That's where we provide the business value. We don't provide the business value by configuring linked services or data sets. I'm really passionate about the fact that as data integrators, our job is to bring value to the business, not go for the latest and greatest shiny technology to play with, right? So the copy activity and the mapping data flow activity most definitely does that. It frees up our time to focus on the important things, and that is meeting your business requirements. So the integration runtime for cloud to cloud is called the Azure integration runtime, but for on-premises from on-premises to Azure, it's called the self-hosted integration runtime, but the copy activity will automatically configure that for you. Any questions so far? Okay. Could you go to the microphone for the benefit of people?
Chris, so in the previous 2 slides previous, there was a flow from the data lake storage to the SQL data warehouse. Yeah, the
Synapse Analytics.
Synapse Analytics. Do you use Data Factory for that, or do you use?
In this case, I would use the mapping data flow in Azure Data Factory, creating a sync directly to Synapse Analytics. And let me explain why. To move data from an Azure Data Lake store into Synapse Analytics requires Polybase. With Polybase, you need to create 3 objects. In the past, that took quite a bit of T-SQL coding. In the mapping data flow task, it's a few clicks and it's done. No coding at all. That's the key benefit of this new feature, code-free data transformations. And just wait till I tell you what else we do tomorrow. But I'll tell you tomorrow because you have to come back then. Great question, by the way. Thank you very much. Now,
So getting back to the slide you just had up there, what if my source is Amazon Cloud?
we do have connections in Azure Data Factory to the Amazon Cloud. So you can actually create a connection to an S3 and grab data there. That may involve you doing work on AWS to pre-process the data ready for transfer. But once you've done that, you can then use Azure Data Factory to connect to Amazon S3 to do it. I would recommend that if you could do it in files which are in a compressed format, that would speed things up tremendously. Does that answer your question? The question was, do you need an integration runtime? Of course, yes, you do. But that's dealt with you through the copy activity. It's called auto integration runtime. So you can move data from Amazon into Azure, and it's quite easy, actually. It's surprisingly easy. But the true work of that is the data pre-processing before you use ADF to move it across. So it does require some planning. Really good question, that. Thank you. Now, the thing I want to mention with the copy activity is that if you do it with files, in fact, this is a perfect link, as they say in the radio. Going back to the gentleman's Amazon question. The reason why I'm recommending that you actually pre-process your data on any data store, by the way, it's not just Amazon, is if you've got compressed data files, essentially, the copy activity works more efficiently. Can anyone spot the difference with this compared to a couple of slides ago? Correct. You'll notice that the deserialization and serialization aspects of the copy activity is not required when you're copying files. This makes it the most efficient process of ingesting data. And this is a really important strategy, really, when it comes to ingesting data with Azure Data Factory, which is why I go back to your point, sir, with regards to moving from any data store. It requires planning. As much data processing as you can do to get it into that file format is greatly appreciated, because you'll move the data files across far quicker if they're in a file format because there's no deserialization. Does that make sense? Okay. Here are the supported file formats: text, JSON, Avro, ORC, and Parquet. And from the compression perspective, the codecs include gzip, deflate, bzip2, zip, deflate. I'm just going to give people a moment to take pictures of that because I can see a lot of cameras coming out. Why aren't you pointing them at me? I can tell my daughter then I'm a failed rock star. I am actually. I've gone from playing on stages to actually presenting at Ignite, which is good, by the way. I digress. The other thing that's important as well is the monitoring capability. Okay, and basically there's two areas that you can monitor. First of all, you can monitor the pipeline runs, right? And funnily enough, as if by magic, look at that pipeline activity, sir. Copy from Amazon S3 to ... Thumbs up there from the gentleman. Basically, what you've got is the ability to look at the actions around it. It will give you status information. But if you click on that link, what it'll do is it'll give you a breakdown of each activity within that pipeline. Can you remember? A pipeline contains multiple activities. So the activities are hierarchical: pipeline and activities. And it does, if you read it, if you read the error messages, it's quite comprehensive in telling you what the problem is. You just need to copy it, put it into Notepad, do a Control F, try and find it. So yeah, I like the smile on your face, because he said he is a data integrator. But again, you may want to consider building up your own framework as well if you need custom information there. But the information that you get here is very, very helpful indeed. So, here's a summary before I do the demo. Azure Data Factory is a cloud-based data integration service that allows you to orchestrate and automate data movement and data transformation. Ingesting data really should be performed by the ADF copy activity. Why? It does a lot of the hard work under the hood for you. You don't have to worry about integration runtimes. You don't have to worry about configuring JSON like you did in ADF v1. The ADF copy activity can be used to connect and collect data for ingestion. You might use it as well to copy data, maybe back to another blob store, right? Maybe you don't want it to go to Synapse Analytics. Maybe you want it to go to another blob store because people are using Power BI to connect up to it to do their own analytics, right? Sometimes we don't do it. You know, the self-service data analyst is becoming more and more prevalent in the role today. Different integration runtimes are required for different scenarios. Try and use files as the basis for ingestion because that's the most efficient way of transferring data with regards to the ADF copy activity. And finally, you can monitor the performance of ADF copy activity, both visually in the monitoring pipelines, but you can also do it programmatically as well. Okay? Let's have a look at this then. Oh, sorry, thank you for calling it out.
Can you replace Data Lake with Delta Lake?
Do you know, that's a really good question. And I'm going to say, can I get back to you on that? Because I want to give you the right answer. I'm inclined to say yes, but I could be wrong. I've been a bit busy with Synapse Analytics for a bit, but I'm not sure if Daniel's in from the team, but hey, Daniel, thank you so much. This is Daniel, by the way. This is the guy that, and his team that you should be thanking for the improvements. Hi, Daniel. It'd be really great if I could have you at the microphone so everyone can hear your answer, or could you do that for me? Thank you, sir. Really appreciate your support.
Hi. Delta Lake is currently in development. It should be here by the end of the year, but no promises. But we are currently working on it. I believe with data flows, you're able to ingest into Data Lake through that. But that's a different session I think Chris is giving tomorrow.
Yeah. Thanks, Daniel. Appreciate that. Yeah. You want to come here? You might want to stay at the front, Daniel. Yeah. I'm sure we're going to have more questions after the demo. Yes, sir.
A quick question.
Yes.
Is Data Factory supposed to be your temporary storage before you move everything to Synapse, or is that your permanent?
So Data Factory isn't a storage
Sorry, not the
engine
Data
at
Factory,
all.
Data Lake.
Data Lake, a temporary storage. No, and yes. So the answer is, it depends. And I know you're going, why is he saying that? He's saying that because it depends on the actual architecture that you're trying to define. I think most people would use it as a permanent data store. Let me explain why. If you're at my session yesterday, we talked about how the world is evolving in different types of analytics. And we talked about how pretty much everyone in the room does descriptive analytics through data warehousing, yeah, and doing BI reports, right? Because descriptive analytics is a historical view of what happened, right? But more and more, people are moving into prescriptive and predictive analytics and even cognitive analytics, which is the space I worked in. And what that means is, now that we've got the compute capability in Azure to use machine learning services, Databricks, Synapse Analytics, it basically means we've got the power now to actually do interesting analytics on that data. As a result, you probably want that data to stay in the data lake store to be one source of truth to serve many destinations. So it could serve Synapse Analytics for just descriptive analytics. No, let me start that again. It could serve Azure SQL Data Warehouse for descriptive analytics, and it could serve Azure Databricks to do prescriptive analytics on Spark. But with the announcement yesterday, we could take them away, just use Synapse Analytics, because we've got both Big Data Relational and Spark all in the same technology. And it's designed to be accessible to small to medium enterprises as well. Does that make sense? Yes, sir.
I have a small question. When you would be loading structural data like from SQL Server into
Yes.
the data lake,
Yes.
would you not lose your metadata, like especially data types?
Yes, that's a very good point. There are going to be aspects when you're moving it from a structural data source to a file-based data source, you will lose that data types. But the benefit of basically using the analytical tools is that you define your schema on reading the data. So you just remap that data as you're reading it. Does that make sense? Yeah. Great. Yes, sir.
Just a small question.
That's famous last words. Go on.
What's going to happen to data lake analytics?
So data lake analytics, I actually don't work on that team, so I can't really comment on it, and I personally didn't really use it. So I would highly recommend that if you go into the hub to the orange lights and look for the data and AI, there'll be the data lake team there, and they will be able to answer that question. That wasn't a small question, was it? Okay, oh, here he is.
Very simple question. ADF copy, I assume you're maintaining all of your metadata as you go through, so data lineage can be tracked?
Yes, yes. Okay, let's go to the demo. So, if I go into the portal, hopefully everyone can see that. Within my resource group, CTO Ignite, I've got a number of resources in there. I've got a data lake store, I've got Databricks, I've got a data warehouse. What I'm going to do in the first instance is I am going to, let's create Azure Data Factory. So I'll do that using the Cloud Shell. So let's just authenticate into that. Just warming up. Once it warms up, we'll get moving quite nicely. Okay. So what I'll do is just create the PowerShell script to actually generate the Azure Data Factory environment. And what I'll do is just authenticate there. The reason why I like doing stuff like this is I get people saying, you know, well, you know, you pre-did that, haven't you? You kind of got a little hidden trick up your sleeve where you've done all this in advance. If I create the data factory right in front of you, you know that I'm doing everything live, and that's why I do it. Okay, so PowerShell is going to go ahead and continue with the creation of that environment. There you go. We're just registering the data factory provider, creating the variables there, and data factory is literally being created based on those variables there. So I like to build up my infrastructure using PowerShell. Great, so what we'll do now is go to home. I will close that down and go back into here. Just wait for it to refresh. And there is our Azure Data Factory instance that we've literally just created it. Now, when I go into this, what we're going to do is we're going to go into author and monitoring. And author and monitoring can be found in the center of the screen. And if I click on that, it will open a new tab in Edge. And this will be our authoring canvas, where we're going to use just one task. And basically, what you're going to see over the next 2 sessions is me building up the ingestion and the transformation. We're just going to do the ingestion part today using the copy activity. Now, within this, you've got a number of quick shortcuts to do a number of things, but we're going to do the pipeline here. Now, as you can see within the pipeline, we have a number of activities that exist within the canvas, right? The one we are interested in at the moment is move and transform, and specifically the copy data. We'll click and drag that across, and that will appear on the Canvas designer. I just want to give credit to the brains in the room. This is Daniel's presentation. Now, within this, what we're going to do is click on source, and we need to create that link service and that data set that we were talking about. That is your first step. So we do this by defining a source data set, and there's the Amazon S3 for the gentleman who asked the question. What we're going to do is we're going to use the source on a GitHub repository. And we'll do delimited text. Now, within this, we're going to set the properties for the data set itself. And here we define the linked service. And that linked service will be a new linked service. And from this, we will get information from here. So this is the GitHub location, and we'll call it Movies GitHub. Notice this auto-resolve integration runtime. Can you remember when I said you don't have to worry about it because we've got this option here? It makes life so much easier. So leave it as auto-resolve. We'll put in the URL to the data, and then we'll put anonymous access because it's on a public GitHub. We'll click on create there. Now within this, what we'll do is, we've got the link service defined. We're going to say that the first row has as headers, and then we can import the schema from the connection and store. And we do that by using a GET request. Click on OK. And that is our source defined. So we are we are pulling data from a GitHub repo on the internet. What I will then do, can I finish this demo and then you can ask your question because I'm in a flow. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. What I'm going to do is click on sync, and we are going to define where the data is going to be placed. So again, we define a new data set. And this time, we define an Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2. Click on Continue. Again, a delimited text file. Now, we define another link service that points to this. And again, we give it a name. We've got the auto-resolve integration runtime. And then what I'm going to do is connect up to my subscription in the storage account name. And from that, we've got the connection. I click on Create, and this will take me to the set properties. Now, within the set properties, if I use Azure Storage Explorer, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the data lake store that I pre-created. This is going to connect up to my subscriptions. And then I'm going to connect up to the data lake store that we've just defined in the link service. So what we've got is a file system or a container that's called landing zone. And this is kind of, when I used to do data warehousing projects and things like that, I used to say, we land data. Going back to the gentleman's point earlier that we don't really want to hurt the production systems. You want a light touch. So you grab that data as quickly as possible from a production system, drop it into a landing zone. So you do all the heavy work there rather than a system that's earning your business revenue, right? So we've got a landing zone container with a folder in there called output, and there's no data in there at the minute. So I'll just go back to storage account there and there. So what we're going to do here is we're going to say that the file path is landing zone, and it is the folder called output. And here, I've got first row as headers. I could use to import the schema from the connection to store, but I don't have that because I don't have that in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a sample file that I've already got locally to say, look, use this schema that we've got here. And then click on OK. That's it. Shall we run it? So we'll click on debug. This is going to take probably not long to run, so we'll give it a minute. I'm quite patient. One thing I want to bring to your attention is look within the pipeline run for the monitoring. Yeah, you got the pair of glasses here so you can view the details. I'm just going to wait for that to finish. That has succeeded. We'll click on dismiss. We'll click on the glasses. And as you can see here, we're getting information about the source, about the sync, what data was read, what data was written, and the duration that it took. And then we'll go back into Azure Blob Storage, and then download this. I didn't define a file name in the wizard, so it's come up with a GUID. So if I had defined a file name, I just did landing zone output and didn't put a file name, so it just comes up with a GUID there. If I'd have put a file name in, it would have put in the file name. Let me select that folder there to download it. This is being downloaded now. And then we can view this text file here, and we'll do it in Notepad. And there you go. This is your movies data. And that is how you can use the copy activity to move data across. Now, I know a couple of people have questions, so if you want to get up and get ready, you will go first while this gentleman comes across.
What if I were to use a data source that is not listed what's there? For example, I'd like to read from analysis services.
So with data stores that are not supported, it's no different than when you were doing data warehousing back in the day. You would basically find an intermediary store to place that in that will be supported by your technology. So for example, if you had a weird database, let's call that a product, and it was not supported in ADF, most of them can output it to CSV. So you would think about using an intermediate format to pull that in.
Thanks very much.
You're welcome, sir. Yes.
Actually, my question is related to the other one. What if you have an old-fashioned SOAP and you have to grab an authentication header for that token?
Right.
And you get a XML from the service. How should you handle that?
So how can you deal with SOAP authentication and you get an XML header that has the authentication headers?
No, I mean like as a result of XML.
Oh, it's an XML file type. Yeah. XML file type's there, yeah?
XML's not currently supported, but that's one of our biggest future asks.
Okay.
Stop by the ADF booth today. We have our connectivity expert.
Yeah, go to the ADF booth and ask that question because it's on the roadmap. Yes?
So for the auto integration runtime,
yeah.
If you're doing on-prem, how do you still have to set something up on-prem?
Well, you need some gateway, right, to provide that authentication mechanism, but from an ADF perspective, a lot of it is handled already.
But you still have to
Go on, Daniel, do you want to take the microphone here? I'm going to bring Daniel into these questions as well, because we've got someone from the product group we should take advantage of. Could you use that microphone?
For on-premises, you use the self-hosted integration runtime, which is essentially you download it, and it's pretty much just you put it on your SQL server, and it's pretty much saying like, hey, this is how you access it from Data Factory. So you wouldn't use the auto integration runtime because that's an Azure runtime.
Yeah.
Use the self-hosted integration runtime, which is actually on your on-premise resource.
And then when I use that auto feature, it would know based on that sync or on that
That's from
link server.
That's from cloud to cloud.
Okay,
Yeah, that's from cloud to cloud.
gotcha.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah.
How do you do recurring data transfers and then schedule it?
Yeah, so basically what you can do is you can set a schedule on the pipeline, which we'll look at tomorrow, in order then to define a time, or you can set a trigger, so it can be triggered, but that's for tomorrow, okay? Because the way you got to look at it is that I haven't finished this ADF package yet. I've only done the first part. Tomorrow we do the transformation, then we look at that. Yes.
I have two questions. The first is, with the integration runtime environment, is there thought in the future to having a PaaS object as opposed to having an actual VM?
I'm going to defer to Daniel about what the future PaaS objects instead of a VM.
I'm not 100% sure. Stop by.
Okay.
The other question is there a way to maximize throughput with the on-prem connector with the integration runtime environment? For example, doing scaling so that you can maximize the transfer that you're doing to the cloud?
So it depends on what your data sync is going to be, and I think that requires a discussion because we need to have more information regarding that data sync. I'm just gonna, because time literally just run out, and I want to respect the time of the team at the back. Thank you so much for your time. For those who are waiting to have questions answered, I will be available to answer them directly at the side for you, so you will get your questions answered. Thank you very much.